break rocks. You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself.
Man, oh boy, I love Thursday. Every Thursday at 7 p.m. My name is Lexis Bill. You're welcome. We're live on Facebook, actually. You can check out the video of our conversation live on Facebook. And if you have comments, you can put them in there. Would love to hear from you. You can also share the video so that everybody in the world can watch us and listen to us. Our guest today is amazing, so of course everybody needs to listen to this man. More importantly, because he hardly talks. He hardly talks about himself. But today we get to know about his journey and all that he's achieved. He's really an amazing brother and one who is no stranger to this building, this office, this studio, and the Joy FM community. He's one of us. Yep. He's the initiator, the producer, and the host of the first radio car talk show on car maintenance and road safety issues, Arrive Alive, on Joy 99.7 FM. And we're talking from 1997 thereabouts all through to 2012. He's also the originator and the producer of Fast Lane. It was a serialized TV car show back in the 2000s, the very early 2000s. He also did Drivers Academy, a serialized TV drama series on national television. Now, this should tell you about how much he loves cars. He's actually a collector, I can put it that way, because just before we came on, we're talking about his antique cars and his collections and all, and hopefully this time when we get on radio, he'll tell us how many cars he has. And he's the initiator and implementer of the first ever transport awards in Ghana back in 2007. But that's not all. He is the CEO of Logistics Movers Limited, a removal and freight forwarding company, and Yetron Services Limited, a full-service advertising agency specializing in brand communications. He's a successful entrepreneur, and he is the international president-elect of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, CILT International. Yeah, CILT is a professional body representing the transports and logistics industry, and he is the president-elect. I have a big man in the studio. Yes, we'll get to know all about him. But just before we even go in there, I'm throwing you back to when he was on Arrive Alive. Listen to this.
Yes, Arrive Alive with Mobile, the program that puts your safety on our road first. Another weekend is here with us again, and I have the pleasure to welcome you to Arrive Alive with Mobile. My name is Chief Teete Owusu-Nortey. To begin with, let's take a message from our sponsors.
Ah, there you go.
Oh, I love it. This is a surprise.
Chief Teete Owusu-Nortey.
That's my name.
Welcome.
Thank you, my brother.
I mean, since you're here in person, I think you should do it. You should do it in person, not the tape. Let's go. And listen, if you go live on Facebook, you'd see our video, and a bit later, I'll get Abeku to let you see the props that we have in the studio. We're talking about cassette tapes from the 90s when he recorded his shows, the TV tapes from GTV, and we have his chololi also packed right here in the studio. The visuals are amazing. Titi,
That's my
I'm
name.
so happy to have you here.
Thank you, my brother. Good to come back home.
Yes.
I mean, this is home. I recall those days when I was, I think the studio was somewhere down there.
Yeah.
And my show was from 3 o'clock to, 3:30 to 4.
Okay.
Every Friday evening.
Ah.
And it was an independent production. So immediately I get to it. So I get the studio right after the BBC Focus in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And the studio will be left for me to do my own thing. And I loved it. It was my passion.
I'm leaving the microphone for you right now.
Oh, this man.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Arrive Alive. You. I hope you have your content. Not just intro. You give us content.
Oh, man.
You do interview and things.
No, listen, this more than a decade ago, and I've really moved on. Let me see if I remember.
Let's go.
Good afternoon. This is Arrive Alive. My name is Chief Teete Owusu-Nortey. This afternoon, I have in the studio Lexis Bill. He's the director and producer of Drive Time, and we'll be talking about road safety and car maintenance. And we'll be having phone calls. Ladies and gentlemen, the number to call is 030-221-6541. Let's take a commercial break. We'll be back and we rock and roll.
There you go.
Oh man! Oh, this way back into time. I don't remember.
You still got a flair, brother. You got a flair.
Get me on the spot. Oh wow, that's a good
Brings
one.
back memories, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it does. It does. I mean, it gives back that memory when I used to have these guys here, Dusty Wayne, late Dusty Wayne.
Yeah.
Kobla Dumore. I mean, we still do have Doreen.
Doreen
I
and
remember, yes, and those days, I mean, it was a family.
Yeah.
It was a family, and it was good. And they loved the show because that was the first independent produced show on Joe at the time. You know, that was the first time that they would leave a studio for an independent person to come and, I mean, do his thing and just go back. And it was fun.
And you still were part of the family. I mean, you were part of the Joy family like that. What do you miss about those times?
Oh man, those times, I remember those times, and we used to have, we eat together, you know, I mean, before the show, that was quite close to the lunchtime. We'll go just get a kinky and fish, we'll sit together, because we said that you can't go empty stomach to the studio, so we call something belly full.
That's
You have to
right.
belly full,
Yep.
you know, and I learned a lot from multimedia because I never came in as a professional radio person, so I learned on the job, you know, and what I learned is that you always have to have your first punch right, because that will just get you going.
Yeah.
If your first second is not right, you flopped.
Yeah.
So always have to have a lot of energy, taking a deep breath. And I stammer, you didn't know.
You do.
I really do stammer, so I always have to calculate the way I speak and get the energy before I come out. It was good. It was good. Yeah, I loved it.
So for somebody who didn't have any knowledge of presenting and all of that, where did the confidence come from? How did you put yourself in that position to know what to do, to learn, to get your content? You initiated the whole idea.
Yeah, I
You
did.
came up with the idea and all of
Yeah,
that.
I did.
Take us through the process.
Well, this is unscripted. It's unscripted. So I once upon a time used to work in a workshop. And the issues that were coming to the workshop were issues that could be speak with them. So what they said is that, well, we are a new radio station. You are the originator, everything. Yet you don't have the background of journalism, and we don't know how well you can handle the program. So you go look for sponsors to give you the airtime. So we did the math. They gave me the cost, and I went to look for sponsors. And I remember those days. I forgot some of the personalities though. Maulio Klu and Isiampa and all those people said that, well, you're not qualified. So what we'll do is that we'll get Dustin Wayne, late Dustin Wayne, to host the show, but you can produce. So what I did was that anytime all the programs that Dustin Wayne was hosting, I'll do the script, and I'm happy to show you the script that was here.
Yes.
Everything was written for Dustin Wayne. He just comes on to talk about what I've written for him.
Mm-hmm.
That was the time, I think it was about 2-3 years later that Love FM was getting established. So Multimedia pushed Dustin Wayne to Kumasi to set up Love FM.
Okay.
So the program was now left with no producer. And
No presenter.
Sorry, no presenter.
Yeah.
I worked with Dusty for more than 2-3 years, so I learned on the job.
Yeah.
So now there was a vacuum, so I had to quickly take over. And I did a fantastic job that, Arrival I won. The marketing, CM Strategy Marketing Program of the Year. The plug is here, some years back.
Oh, that's the CIMG flag, isn't it?
Yeah, that is it, yeah.
Oh, okay. Radio Program of the Year 2003.
Yes.
Beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You've been winning awards for long, yeah?
So that is what happened, and I kept tweaking the program all the time because I was the originator.
Yes.
And it's always good to be originator than to be an imitator. So those days, later we had other radio stations coming up, and they tried to imitate Arrival Live.
Yeah.
Because they were the imitators, they couldn't match up. So anytime I tweak it a little bit, and they get stuck. So if they move, I'm a step ahead of them. Move, I'm a step ahead of them. So that that the radio.
Let's talk about the
program did very
impact
well.
it had.
Oh, it was tremendous. There were some fax messages, emails it was from Global. You could see there, the evidence of it. It was a phone-in program, and it helped and saved lives that corporate Ghana sponsored. Toyota sponsored, Mobile at the time sponsored, later Total sponsored, and a lot of multinationals that corporate Ghana sponsored. And we saved a lot of lives. Road Safety Authority at the time came on regularly, DVLA regularly, and the government agencies threw their support behind it, and
Good
it was
stuff.
really good.
Amazing. And let me say congratulations as well to you on your election as the international president-elect, the Chartered Institute
Thank
of
you.
Logistics and Transport. That's huge.
Well, it is, but
And, well, it is familiar territory because I know you also held various positions for the Institute, both locally and internationally.
Yes, I did.
You're the special advisor to the Council of Trustees,
yeah.
which serves as the board of CILT globally, and the first time a non-voting member has been co-opted into the Council of Trustees, and also the first African. Good job.
Thank you, my brother.
How does it feel?
It feels good and it feels I have a self-satisfaction because that is what I intend to do, to change the dynamics, to change the narratives, to get the whole world to know that an African and a Ghanaian can get there. And that is what I've arrived in doing.
What got you there?
Hard work, determination, and sacrifice. Hard work, determination, and sacrifice. That's what took me there. A lot of it.
What does this role involve?
CLT is a global organization, and we believe in the promoting of art and science in logistics and transport. And we are in about 60 countries. In Africa, we are in about 24 countries, still counting. And the president-elect is more or less like the vice president. So you automatically fit into the presidency after 2 years. So what my role currently is, we have in the organogram, we have the president-elect, and the vice presidents, and the special interest groups. Now, the vice presidents are the vice presidents that represent each continent. So every continent has a vice president.
Okay.
I used to be the vice president for Africa.
Okay.
So now my role currently is all the vice presidents and international support groups report to me. And what we do is that we take decisions, we make policies, we make sure that we get countries globally to conform to international standards when it comes to transport. And if I do make mention of transport, we have 6 modes of transport: air, road, rail, sea, logistics, and supply chain. So we regulate these arms of transport to make sure that the world is standardized when it comes to road transport industry. I mean, we are just like chartered institute of marketing, chartered institute of accountancy, and all the chartered organizations have their roots in UK.
Okay.
And CLT was established in 1919. And this is the first time over 100 years an African has been appointed to that high position.
We need to throw a party, brother.
Thank you. Bruce.
Yes, this is really big. We'll talk more about work and all of that, and work and logistics, and we'll come back to all these tapes that we have here. Look, I haven't seen a cassette in more than probably a decade. Get on to our Facebook page and check out the video. I'll show you cassettes from Arrive Alive.
Yes.
Hey, back in the day we used to use these for broadcast. Now tape nebo bar now
Now the pen I shouldn't assume.
No.
Because this one I recorded this one.
Wow.
That was Mobile Oil Ghana Limited, Sam Amwa, Apedo, and Ayensu.
Yeah.
This was recorded 13th of March 1998.
Oh dear.
And the other one was recorded. So side 1 record 13th of March 1998. Side B or side 2 will record 20th of March 1998. So I have all these, and I'm keeping them.
No, this is gold.
collector's
It's
piece.
a collector's item, It tells you how far we've come with technology as well.
True.
Now we don't need all these bulky cassettes now, and
No.
put all of it in a little computer, and we're good to go. Wow, it has
So
evolved.
the youth or the younger guys should see where we came from and
Yeah.
where we are now. That
Absolutely.
generation change.
Now let's talk about where you come from.
Oh, this
Actually, let's talk about where you hail from. Tell us a bit about you and growing up. Actually,
The most important thing is I'm a Ghanaian. I bear Ghanaian name. And I'm from Osu. There's a place in Osu called Osu Ashinte.
okay.
That is where the Ashantis migrated to when they came to Accra. That is why you see Owusu in my name.
Okay.
That's why you see Owusu in my name. And I was born, bred, battered, and jammed in Kolebu. So I'm a Kolebu boy. I went to Ministry of Health Preparatory School.
What were your parents doing at the time?
My mom was a nurse, and she's a retired nursing officer now, a midwife nurse actually. And my dad was a farmer.
Okay.
So that is how I started school gradually, and we grew, and I didn't come from Rachel anyway. I came
So it wasn't
from,
a privileged home.
not at all. The first time I enjoyed my bed was in secondary school. That's Winneba Secondary School. That was the first time I enjoyed a bed on my own.
Oh.
Yes,
So growing up, what were you sleeping
on the floor with the mattress, and there was a time I got upset with my sister. Because we were sleeping on a student mattress on the floor. I got upset with her. I said, I'm angry with you. So I tore the mattress into 2. I said, don't sleep by me. Take yours and let me take mine. And that reminds me, I had an uncle who visited us once upon a time, and I think he gave us a paper note of a currency, and he said that, oh Titi, Anna unya shabe monche. Monche, what I thought is that monche means we should tear into 2.
No,
so I told you
Chamu
to.
Mienu.
I'm Auji, Namisminji. Auji, Namisminji.
I see. How many siblings did you have?
7.
7.
Yeah, 7, and we all lived in one bedroom house in Kolebu Midwest Flat.
Wow.
Yes.
Must have been tough. Or at the time you didn't know.
I didn't know. Because I remember in secondary school, when everybody was wearing, their own size panties, my dad, assuming I should wear small, my dad bought me a medium, and he mended the size that Obad Udakeke, what I mean would he spoke in Ga something. I'm not very good in Ga, pardon me. I mean, it's like more or less like, yeah. I mean, you keep growing. So as you're growing, they will loosen the
They will
thread.
keep
We keep
loosening
loosening it until you fit in it. I mean, that was how tough it is, you know. And I was hardly visited in school. I never got visited in school because I mean, there was no time for that. And my mom, I mean, was I love my mom. She's a hardworking woman. She did everything she could to make sure she supported us. You know.
Yeah.
So I came from a very hard family, but I've never let her down, and she's so proud of me because I've grown up to be someone that she's happy with.
Looking back, that setting must have shaped you into a certain kind of person.
In fact, that's what made me who I am. It got me to think outside the box.
Okay.
It got me to do things that ordinarily you wouldn't have done. It got me to realize that I always have to have plan A, B, C, D. I just don't have the normal plan A and B. No. So by the time you get exhausted with your plan A and B, I'm in plan C and perhaps plan D. So it toughened me and got me to know that I can make it irrespective of the situation I find myself in.
Can you recall the toughest moment or any of those moments that you actually realized that, look, this is hard, or we're in a very tough place?
When I was thrown out of school, Winneba Secondary School, and I hadn't paid my fees then.
You're thrown out?
Yes. I had to come back home, and I saw my dad going to sell his gas cooker to earn money to get me back in school. Yes. And I'd never let him down for doing that. I mean, that was how hard it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I never took provisions to school. If I did, those days they call something forget. You just get fill your palm with gari and put water in it, a lot of water in it, and you just forget about it. By the time you come back, I mean, what you do now? Also, no two. You know, and went through it, and I loved to wear big things because naturally, I mean, my dad got me, psyched me to get to know that I'll be growing. As I grow, I'll fit into my clothes, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, that training toughened and hardened me to be a tough guy. I mean, to hustle.
Yeah.
But you know, I was hustling, but I didn't know I was hustling.
Yeah.
Little did I know that my hustling will end me where I am now.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Did you have ambitions as a child, like any profession you wanted to take up when you grew up?
I'd have loved you didn't ask me this question because I was very notorious. I had ambition to be an engineer. So the radio in my house, I just didn't understand why a box should talk. I could hear a voice from a box. So I dismantled it to get to know who is in that box that is talking. I mean, I was beaten terribly. As if that was enough. TV. I mean, I see a whole human being standing in a box, meaning that there's somebody in there.
Yeah.
I dismantled it. And my brother, it wasn't easy for me. I should have learned a lesson. I never did. Those days, we had a clock where you have to wind the back, you know, have to wind it. And I could hear, keke. I said, what's this noise? I mean, this noise, let me dismantle it. And so I always had a thing for, you know, engineering. But when I entered secondary school, unfortunately, I had arts, so I couldn't do the sciences. So I did arts. But gradually, I mean, if you follow your passion, no matter what you're given in school, you'll still have a way in channel yourself, or you still have a way in navigating to find your route and just move on. So I still navigated and found my passion. I followed it.
Your parents didn't have a role in shaping that?
Not at all.
That path?
Not at all.
Why?
They left us to do our own thing. And now I understand the current Montessori system. But little do we know that our parents, my parents, they wouldn't shape you. Just find your own route or find your own way, and they'll support you. And that's what they did. And that helped me because if they had guided me, because I was a Kolebu boy, so I would have either been a doctor or something to do with medicine, and I would have failed because I'm scared to see blood. So that I would have been forced to enter a profession that wasn't my calling. But as it left me to do my own thing, I found my profession, and I do it diligently.
You sound very happy that your parents did that.
Extremely happy.
If you had to pick out some of the lessons that you picked from your parents, which ones will come top 3?
Don't depend on anyone. Fight your own salvation, fear and trembling. And get to know that you don't come from a rich home. You have to make it on your own. Yeah.
And you made it.
I never depended on anyone. It was me. And as I grew up, I mean, I had a very rich family. I never depended on them. Because I knew, and I used those principles to guide my path. I mean, there are a lot of things I've done that I never knew that was going to be the end result in getting to where I am now. Even though I planned everything, I calculated, but I think I've gone beyond my thinking process.
Okay.
And that's exciting. That makes me happy. That encourages me to do more.
And you think that's actually because your background propelled you to? The lack of, well, resources maybe?
Lexis, I didn't have much resources. Well, let me tell you something about myself that is not out there. I never went to university.
You never did?
No. I never went to sixth form. I never passed my O levels. Our term was O levels. My best result in O levels was, I think, 5. I did 5. It was a failure. But fast forwarding, my failure helped me to catapult me to where I am now. I never went to university. I never went to sixth form. I failed my O levels. But currently, I'm the next president or president-elect of a global or international educational chartered organization that looks at education, that oversees, supersedes education, everything.
Herein lies the story. Let's fill that gap. Let's start off from failing O levels.
Yes.
So what, you flunked your O levels. Why do you think you failed?
I wish I knew. And I think perhaps the reason I failed was the fact that that wasn't a course I wanted to do. It's like I told you, I wanted to be an engineer.
Yeah.
So I think that was what got me not to be serious. It's not about not being serious, but it just wasn't the ish for me.
Yeah.
Because I never had what I wanted to do in school. So I failed O levels in Winneba Secondary School. I tried to do NOVDEC in Laboni. Whilst I was doing my lower 6, I was able to do extra classes in Laboni whilst I was doing my NOVDEC or rewriting my O levels to catch up and do sixth form. Like the normal thing everybody does. I mean,
Don't tell me you failed that one too.
I did. Like I did.
Titi,
Gracefully did.
Meba. Inti na uti na ewu na se circumstances.
The thing is, I was still finding my feet.
Okay.
I hadn't come to realize who I was. I was trying to define myself on a paper. So whatever you put me in, I wasn't okay with it.
I see.
Then there was a school called GTTC, German Technical Training Center,
Okay.
at Mpamprom. I think Osa was there. So my mom and dad realized, okay, if engineering want to go on that route, here we go. Go to that school. Graceful, I did first year, second year, third year. And normally that school was for lower grade level students, not for someone who's finished O levels. So everything they were doing there it was like, it wasn't my thing. I mean, I was way above them.
Yeah.
So I couldn't fit in, even though, so I left the school without having a certificate. So invariably, I failed that school as well. Because I came out without having a certificate. And I thought of going to Accra Poly. So I went to Accra Poly. It wasn't even an entry exam. It was an interview that I passed, actually.
Okay.
and we call it MECP, Mechanical Engineering Craft Practice. So I passed that one, and that got me to go into MET, Mechanical Engineering Technician. I did part 1, I passed. Part 2, I failed. So I couldn't go to part 3.
Okay.
And I was getting frustrated. But in school, in Accra Poly, I'm always well dressed. I was in my tie. I mean, you come to school and you are wearing tie, and so they even call me American man because I was in tie, and I mean, that sort of swag.
Yeah, I mean, I need to talk about your fashion sense today, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, TT is in here with a customized shirt, like well woven, with his name written in the shirt, and his shorts is also customized. I'm very sure in some. Oh boy. Okay, shall we move on?
I love fashion, though. I mean,
yes. So Fred called me when I sent him the artwork for the conversation.
Right.
And he's like, Lexis, I don't think your graphic designers were able to get the color of his glasses and the background to match up. So we did our own tweaking to make sure that it matches. I'm like, yeah, TT is very particular about that.
Definitely.
I'm like, are you serious?
Oh, yes. oh, yes. Lexis, I have about 25 frames.
25 frames?
Yeah, different color frames, and it matches with my dress for the day.
So if you're wearing white, you're wearing these ones that you're wearing?
Yes, and I have another one with a brown handle as well. That goes probably something. Yeah. And you could see blue there. And blue.
And the blue in your shirt.
Yeah.
If you're wearing red, your frame has to be red.
Bespoke, spot on.
Holy moly. I mean, I'm taking notes, brother.
Oh, you got a long way to go, bro. You got a long way to go.
Wow.
No, but you see, after hard work, you have to, enjoy what you've done. Ease off some stress with a few things that excite you.
Yeah.
And that is what I believe in.
That's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah,
you're telling us about Accra Polytechnic and
so
how you were such a well-dressed man.
Yeah, so they called me American man because I was well-dressed, but I couldn't finish Accra Poly. Luckily for me, and at this time, I'll mention one of my godfathers who helped me to be who I am now, Francis Dakwa. He owns a workshop in South Industrial area called Francis Dakwa and Company Limited. He was looking for a workshop manager, and at the time, we met in church. I'm a Christian. I'm still a Christian, though. We met in church at the time. And a common friend of ours said, "Oh, I know this spirit brother. He's pursuing engineering at Accra Poly. He's almost in his final year," which wasn't true. I don't know why he had me that much. So Francis Dakwa believed in this brother, and he said, "Oh, please come, my brother, come, let's work." So he gave me a working gear. And the next day, my brother, a whole workshop manager, I went to a workshop the following day in tie. Because I believe in dresses. I said, so, and to be told, I knew nothing about cars. And yet I was supposed to be the workshop manager. So what I did was about learning from these guys who knew their job. And if there are issues that they should I should be the one to get a solution. I'd rather throw back the question to them. Then we all have a discussion and we find out the solution. Little they know that I was using those meetings we're having to resolve issues on cars where my learning curve. That's where I learned on the job.
Okay.
So 2-3 years down the line, I became so much an expert that, you crank your car. I can tell you the problem with the car. I can diagnose your car with my ears.
Wow.
If I sit in your car, I can tell you A to Z, whatever was wrong with your car. I learned on the job. And that is where I started thinking about having this Arrive Alive program on job, because I had professors coming in, doctors coming in, all those PhDs with very little problems that they could have solved themselves.
Yeah.
And we're making money off them because they were not using their IQ, and straight away, I said that is how there was a breakthrough to come on air.
Okay.
And coming on air changed my dynamics in a way to equally have this Yetron service established through advertising or advertising people's products and services on Arrival Live.
So
So
that's
that
how
is
come
how
you set up the advertising agency
fantastic,
on the other side.
fantastic.
Wow,
So
without
one thing-
any knowledge in advertising.
Nothing, absolutely. Nothing at all. But through Arrival Live, and now it was a sought after program, I was getting sponsors to come in to advertise on the program. So there was a need for me to say, okay, why wouldn't I set up a company? Then they pay the money into a company.
Yeah.
And that is how I set up Electron Services.
Wow. What about the logistics company?
Well, so
Logistics movers.
yes, as part of my journey in trying to achieve what I want to achieve in life, I mean, I was rising through the ranks in CLT, a global organization, and it doesn't make sense to me to have a whole officer of a global organization not owning a transport company or logistics company. So I said, why don't I do something just to, align or associate with CLT? That is why I set up Logistics Movers, and it's doing very, very well, tremendously well. So one company or one thing led to the other, and that's where we are now.
Good stuff. Lots of messages are coming in. You can also send us a WhatsApp message on 055-1111-997. We're live on Facebook. You can put your comments in the Facebook video feed as well. We'd read them. Lexis, please extend my regards to Mr. Teete Owusu-Nortey. This is Edmund Asari, a friend of Cyril. Is it Bleasdale?
So, wow.
Yeah.
That is my godfather in CLT. He held my hand and took me to Buckingham Palace and all that. I mean, this guy is a great guy.
Yeah.
He passed a few months ago.
Wow. Edmund says, I was there when CILT was first introduced in Ghana. We met at Novotel back in the late 90s.
Wow.
Such a nice and deep person. Cyril encouraged me to get close. To get close to you and that you were deep. I was young at the time. Sad I couldn't meet you until now. Congrats for being the personality on today's show.
Feels good. Thank you.
Lexus, so Teete and I did some jobs together when he was with Francis Dakwa.
Yes.
And I was with Africa Motors, late 90s. Please, could you ask him to get in touch? I lost touch with him. Okay.
Wow.
Ike says, wow, my man Teete Owusu-Nortey. I remember those days he used to host the Arrival Live show. My main man, please, regards to him, tell him to reach out. So lots of all your good friends, old friends
it's
are,
good to be
are,
back
are
home.
showing up, and that's a good thing. Anyway,
I think I might want to come back on radio and just retire on radio. And do the Arrival Live. I remember those days, Arrival Live.
yeah, you should come back. It will be nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah, and that's actually that leads me to talk about transport, because you've been in the industry. Statistics on our roads don't look good. Road traffic accidents still remain a major public health and development challenge in Ghana. And they're among the top 10 causes of death. You're very passionate about road safety. Where are we with education, compliance, and sanity on our roads?
That is it's a simple question, but it has a very hydra-headed solution, because see, it's about education, and I work with the National Road Safety Authority. I mean, in the past few months, we've done a lot of work, but the average driver on a road is not disciplined, no matter the education you give to a driver. I mean, that is some of the reasons why those days I came up with the TV series called Fast Lane. I mean, here's a case where you see a driver who is touting all over the place that I'm a driver with about 20 years experience, 30 years experience, and yet you show him a road sign and he has no knowledge about it. One of the classical example of the thing I'm talking about is there was a time we're doing outdoor recording, and I showed a sign, a triangle sign with a cow in it. And what I asked the driver, what's the meaning of this road sign? He said, Nature Choba. I mean, how can a driver, boasting of 20 to 30 years driving experience, you see a triangle with a cattle in it, which means cattle crossing. This driver says Nature Choba. I mean, does it make sense? The other funny one is that a triangle with a winding sign in there, meaning that winding road. I mean, one driver said that, or air faho. So you get all these guys on our road, And they refuse to learn, no matter the education. We've done the best we can, giving them flyers, pamphlet, radio education, I mean, literature, get them to the classroom, yet they wouldn't just listen. So there's more work to be done. And I think the National Safety Authority and its agencies, DVLA, MTTD, and the police as well, we all trying our best to. It's just a matter of time, but the carnage is terrible on our roads.
You talk about
And the statistics are not just the best.
Yeah, the statistics are bad. I mean, we here at Joy FM have been on a road safety campaign
I know
for
about that.
eons.
Yeah.
You know, we are putting out social marketing campaigns, you know, to get people to comply, and it's still very damning. The
tough.
statistics are terrible.
It's not encouraging.
I mean, Seth Kwame Boateng has done so much work in that area as well. So, if these approaches are not working, what can work?
My issue is that we're not getting the political support. I recall at Sir Kwame Boateng's launch of the, this thing he launched at the Shippers, the Crash.
Crushed.
Yes. I mean, I had the opportunity to, be one of the speakers. And I called on the president to declare the carnage on our roads as a pandemic. Because if you look at the number of people down our roads daily, it was more than, and it's still more than COVID. But still, all the time that we hear is that, oh, there's something in the pipeline. We're doing what we can. We are working at it. We form a committee. We are going to come up with a budget, and nothing happens. So I'm sure if we do get a political support, it will go a long way to reduce the carnage. We can't eliminate accident. That is not possible. Globally it's there. But we can reduce it as much as we can with government support. So now I think it's more of government involvement in what is happening on our roads, much more than multimedia involvement, Teete Owusu-Nortey's involvement, or any other person's involvement. We need that holistic support from the government.
Lots of messages are coming in. Marty from Mamprobi says, Lexis, come and see me in my cab, in my taxi cab. I'm a very happy man to hear from Teete. I learned a lot from the man. I've been driving for 31 years. I liked listening to him all the time because I'm a very good listener of Joy FM. I've been listening since Joy FM played instrumental as test transmission. Oh, Marty, that's really good to know. Yeah. Good evening, Lexis. This is from Papa and Son. It says, I'm really humbled by the life experience your guest is sharing. I wish the youth are listening. Lexis, unless you don't want to make it all, but with God's mercy and grace, you can be at the top. Did he build a house at the age of 20 years?
No, I never did.
Okay.
I'm wondering where that question is coming from.
I'm wondering too. But
perhaps I built a house that I didn't know. Please, the tester, can you please locate me? And let me? Perhaps I did. I didn't know.
But I know one of the things that you love so much, of course, cars.
Yes, I do.
They were telling me earlier that if you scratch Teete Owusu-Nortey's car, you were doomed.
Listen, my name is not Teete Owusu-Nortey. Teete Owusu-Nortey.
Teete Owusu-Nortey, yes.
I remember those days live on air. Anytime you call my program and say Teete Owusu-Nortey, I'll correct you there for you to. Yes, I'll make sure that the name is pronounced
Teete Owusu-Nortey, yeah.
And
So
it's not
tell me about
bad
the
that
class.
I'm sure you've seen the way my name is written. My last name is always in caps. If you don't write my last name in caps, my P will not accept any letter coming to me.
Oh, I see.
Yes. You can check it. It's there.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Why?
It's a brand.
Okay. Yeah. So Uncle Ken is here.
Oh, Uncle Ken. Oh, we go way back into time, Uncle Ken.
Uncle Ken is here.
Yes.
Uncle Ken.
Lexis,
Oh, wow.
I had to rush to meet Teete because I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah.
And we go way back, like he says, it's so good to see him tonight. Hey, Teete.
My brother. Oh, my brother.
Arrive.
He just arrived alive.
Yes. That was the program.
Yeah.
I must listen to on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
If you were a driver and wanted to take care of yourself and your vehicle, you had to listen to that show. Teete.
That's my name.
Tete.
Wanyemi. Ken, thanks for your testimony. It was
Nice.
good.
Yes.
It was good working with you guys those days. It was good. And one guy that I miss him so much is late Dusty Wayne.
Oh yes, Dusty.
I miss
You started with Dusty.
Yeah, I started with Dusty.
Yeah.
Started with Dusty, and
Yeah.
he was doing the thing, and he was such a good guy.
Yeah.
Then came back to Nana Force, and anytime we meet, we talk about cars. We open our engines to see whose engine is neater than the other. You know, and we go inside the car. You
That's
know,
true. I haven't seen him for yonks, but
Yeah.
he always listens to my shows
Good.
because
Wow.
he sends me
Yes, it's
messages
true. Yeah, I do send
Yeah.
messages all the time.
all the time.
Wow.
You know, nice one, Titi.
Good to see you. Are you looking
to see
good?
you.
Tell
Yes,
me the
yes,
secret.
yes. God is good.
Amen.
What is your secret? Because yeah, you're looking good too. I mean, but for the bald head, but yeah.
No, that one is it's self-imposed bald head.
Oh, is it?
I shave every other day.
Why?
It's a brand.
Bald head is a brand.
It is a brand.
Ooh.
I mean, if I to tell you,
The last I checked, they were saying that if you talked about a bald head's head, a bald man head's head,
Yes.
it's sexual harassment.
I mean, you can easily identify me when I'm out there.
Yeah.
There are three things you identify me with: my head, my beard,
Your gray beard.
my grey beard. No, it's
Yeah.
not grey. It's keyboard beard.
A bee.
No, it's a mixture of black and white notes. It's a keyboard. No, it's a keyboard beard. Mixture of black. I mean, that is it. Black and white. And my shorts actually.
Okay.
Monday to Friday I'm in shorts.
That's the brand.
It is a brand. Monday to Friday I'm in shorts.
I don't know. I'm dumbfounded. Honestly, you're a person. I should say.
That is your
But
problem.
yeah,
Deal with
but
it.
that's, I wanted to know how many cars you have.
Oh, let's see what else to go there.
Yeah. I'm curious.
Let's take that one to the Lord in prayer.
No, I'm not doing that.
You want a taxman to come after me? My brother,
Okay.
a taxman to come after me. GRA.
Oh, okay.
I already
all
have
right.
an issue with them, or issues that are from resolved.
We'll wait for your will to come out.
And you'll be flipping through paper to see if your name has been missed out.
I know, right?
But it's all right. I'll give you one. I'll give you one. But don't be surprised flipping through words after it's right at the Supreme Court. Your name is not there.
No, my name has to be there. I just want one of the old ones. I'm a lover of antiques, and I know you're a lover of antiques as
Yeah,
well.
I do.
What's the oldest car you have?
I wish to go on a route.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I mean,
Let me find out from my special aid.
if you oh dear God.
Fred, get back to Lexis on that.
I hear you. I wanted to share it with my listeners, but if you're not going to disclose that, what's the biggest lesson life has taught you, Teete?
To become in a midst of turbulence, in a midst of situations, if you don't calibrate your thinking process very, very carefully, you might miss out. I don't keep things in me. I don't hold grudges in me. I don't. And I will never do that. I mean, one guy who helped or who supported my nomination to be appointed as a special as the international president-elect. That's Engineer Makamama. He's currently the CLT Ghana president. What he said at one function is that this character Teete, never hold grudges against him because he doesn't keep anything in him. You step on my toes, or I step on your toes, I say, sorry, let's move on. The next moment, it seems to me nothing has happened.
Absolutely.
I just move on.
That's
so
a
my thing
good
is
one.
that never ever hold
Okay.
grudges.
That's a
Move
great
on.
lesson you've shared. I'm really grateful that you came by today.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, we are out of time. We
I
could have
know.
gone on and on and on, and I would still have gotten my answer to the number of cars you have. But we have to wrap up now, and I'm really grateful that you came by. God bless you so much.
God bless my brother, and I hope to see you again before Jesus comes.
Yes, I will see you. I'll come over to your house because I need to take a spin in one of your antique cars. He is going to sign us out with Arrive Alive.
Golly.
Mobile, the program that puts your safety on our road first. Many thanks to Fred Frimpong and studio technician Sam Bannerman for making this program possible. My name is Teete Owusu-Nortey. Arrive alive wherever you go and have a safe motoring. Take care.
Super Hits Radio. Joy 99.7.
Every Thursday. Thursday.
You technicians